Hey everybody, welcome to the third Wednesday of the month. Is it really March? I thought this was April.
It is April.
Yeah, Super Investor Meeting April 2021. Not March.
Oh,
Thanks,
man.
Alex.
Alex is so
Going back in
professional.
time. You're not watching a rerun. For all, look at that. We already have 100 people up here watching.
Look at there.
0. So if you guys have some comments, if you have questions for these guys, this is Eddie Gant, Richard Drake. We'd be happy to answer anything you have if it comes from Airbnb or short-term rental or regular long-term rentals, evictions. And then Eddie takes care of everything from wholesaling to rehab, private money lending. And
Eddie knows everything about everything.
That's right.
Just ask him.
Just ask me. I knew you were gonna say that. I'm a has been, man.
I'm gonna change your name in my phone to Siri.
Yeah.
Hey
Eddie Google.
Siri Gant.
Eddie Google.
Eddie
What's
G.
Yeah. Eddie
So-
G. Google.
What's G stand for?
Did they do away with the foreclosures and the evictions?
Well,
What's the deal now?
Well, our fearless leader, what's Dora's name?
Lena Hidalgo.
Lena Hidalgo,
Lena.
who won a JFK award today for being such a great leader.
Don't publicize.
I know, but she shut down the foreclosures at the witching hour this month.
What is the witching hour?
I think she did it on Sunday
Okay.
Let me tell you
before the first
Let
Tuesday.
me tell you a little story, and Johnny knows more about it than I do. I may say it not exactly 100% factual, but I do believe that there were some trustees that showed up down there on the first Tuesday in March and auctioned some properties from the front door.
I heard some stuff about that too.
From the front door.
Okay.
So it was like a private deal. They had their substitute
It was
trustee and they
posted.
sent them down.
It was posted. That was the location. You know, Hidalgo's ruling didn't shut down foreclosures. It shut down the building.
So they just stood outside and did it.
It's my understanding that a handful of trustees showed up and auctioned the properties at the front door.
And I heard that too.
And
So
I
I
believe by the people I've talked to that was considered to be legally standing, and if that's the right word. In other words, it's
Yeah. Will it or will it not stand is a good question. You think it will? It sounds like it will.
What do you think happens to property values when this does get released?
Be more specific with your question if you don't mind.
The foreclosure sales were
Kick back off.
When
they're
it's open
released
back
to go
up.
back and open the doors and sell.
Well, my first gut instinct, knee-jerk reaction is nothing. It's not going to do anything.
Mine too. You know
Why
why?
would it?
You know
Why
why?
would it?
Tell them how many actives we had this morning on MLS.
I checked it just a minute ago. It's 10,800. It's such a small number. We're down to 1 month of inventory in Houston. You know where Austin is? I believe it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks of inventory.
Yeah.
So the point is, if you
It
dump a
doesn't-
whole bunch of more
It doesn't.
inventory on the market,
But-
you're still not going to catch up with what we need.
Okay.
You know,
It's going to be
Well,
years to catch up.
the numbers were prior to all this, it'll vary. I'm talking houses, I'm not talking vacant lots here. Ballpark number 2,500 to usually in the 4,000 to 5,000 range, and maybe a little more houses or properties auctioned off at Harris County. If some of them sell down there, the only ones that hit the market are the ones that don't sell. Because investors
Or
swoop
get
them up.
bossed by an investor that turns around and flips
Well,
it.
yeah, and turn
Yeah.
around and
But a lot of them
relist
are getting bought by homeowners
it. That's right.
that want to live in it.
So
Or
So,
the payoff
I don't-
amount is more than
You
the
know,
value.
And it doesn't sell.
Yeah.
But and I know we can expand 19 ways into your question, and it's a good
Good
question.
question.
I don't think it's if it impacts us down the road. But what you got to understand is, you know, the number 2,000 to 4,000. But you got to have a lot of 2,000 to 4,000s before it's going to have an impact. You know, it's just because there's no inventory.
So if 4,000 hits the market,
Well, remember, 4,000 houses go through the sale. That doesn't mean 4,000 are hitting the market.
Correct.
That's right.
That might be-
That was my
It
point.
might be 1,000 or it might be 3. I don't know
How
enough
many
to know.
months?
That was my
How
point.
many months does it
Yeah,
take
maybe
for
I didn't express it
4,000?
as well as you did.
He just doesn't understand
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
How many months does it take for 4,000 to go
Well,
through
here's
the
the thing,
system
though.
and hit?
The point he and I both made is 4,000 foreclosures go
Yeah.
through. Well, 1,800 of them maybe are homeowners that are going to keep them.
I understand, but I'm saying these are, let's say these are properties that go through the system,
Mm-hmm.
didn't sell at auction.
Yeah.
How many
Did
months
not
worth of
sell.
that?
That's 2 months. That's 2 weeks of inventory.
Because then it goes into an REO
Mhm.
with an REO listing
Yeah.
agent.
Oh, I see.
The agent has to sit on the
Mhm.
property for 30 days, do a
Mhm.
BPO,
Okay.
send the pricing model over to the bank. The bank
Mhm.
then does an adjustment, says, hey, we either need this property to be remodeled or you're going to sell it as is.
Right.
And now that banks are playing flippers, yeah, they are. They're playing flipping, right?
Mhm.
They're putting money in
They're
the
putting
house.
money into their own inventories to get maximum value,
Mhm.
which is, I believe, is illegal. And
Probably.
they're flipping their own inventory to get back up to where the note should have been, or as close as they can to it. How many months until you see that? 6 months?
I think
Till a single house. You mean if a house goes to auction on the first Tuesday in March,
Yeah,
and no one buys it at the sale, therefore the bank owns it.
bank owns it.
How long does that house does it take to show up on the
Yeah, how
market?
long do you think that process is going to be? Because if there's 1,800
60
of
to
them,
90
I was going
days.
to say 60 to 120.
that's
60 to 90 days.
So
is what I would
so
say.
minimum, we have another 6 months, which that's
Yeah,
what Steve
yeah.
Davis said last night.
Well.
He said he's expecting in 6 months there to be more inventory into
Well,
the
it may be
system.
a little more, but anyway.
I don't,
But back up. There's a bigger number here. 1 month of inventory is how many houses in Houston, Texas right now? 1 month
10,
of inventory.
11,000.
Yeah, it's about 10, 9 to 10. I'd
Well,
say
you already
9.
gave us the answer.
Well, I
when
know
you-
that, but
you
I
did the
mean, but the
intro.
That's
point
how I
being-
knew.
Yeah, that's the only reason
point
why I
being
knew
is
this
it's
number.
insignificant right now. Right now, it's insignificant number to have 2,000 houses hit the market.
Let me
Or
ask you a serious
2,500.
question.
It's insignificant.
How many days is it taking for a vacant rental property to be taken over?
Taken over.
Yeah,
By the
like
landlord?
someone's already
You mean to be
You mean
rented?
Yeah, to be
re-rented?
rented.
Re-rented.
re-rented.
Pretty brisk.
Yeah, it's
You know, we're averaging
once it's
17
ready.
days.
Yeah, it's-
17 days from the
It's-
day that the person leaves till the next tenant's moving in.
17 days from the day it's put on the market.
yeah.
Okay.
Because you got to
17
get it
days.
ready.
Okay.
And
2
you may or may
weeks.
not, depending on the house,
Mhm.
you know, in Renter's Warehouse, we have a lot of different situations.
Right.
Somebody we require 60 days
Mhm.
notice. Well, if we have a pretty compliant tenant, that's pretty good folks, we can get over there, take a look at the house. It's in great shape. They're taking care of it. We'll list it with the pictures that we had when they moved in before they move out. We can do a virtual walkthrough. And if they like it, they sign it subject to inspection. Tenant moves out. They look at it. We do a couple touch-ups. Tenant moves in. The normal situation is tenants are not that compliant. And so they're difficult to schedule with, and they don't take care of the house or whatever. And we know we're going to have to do a little work. We wait until they move out, and we try to get the make ready done in less than a week and get it on the market. Is that about what you do?
What we should do.
Well, everybody can't be
Well,
as good as me. You know?
Well, we're dragging our feet a little bit right now. We got, it's internal.
Are you trying to see if you're going to sell a couple?
I have sold a couple.
Okay. I'm saying the
Yeah.
ones that you're dragging your feet on. Would you say that you're debating on a different exit strategy or a different cash flow strategy?
Internal.
Internal. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well,
the one thing
okay.
I've learned about Eddie is whenever he cuts me off
Internal.
quick with a question, I'm not allowed to answer.
Internal.
Ask a second question.
Well,
It's
and a lot of
actually
times with a business with the scale that Eddie has or I have or even you have is you got 8 crews or 4 crews or however many crews you got. You just don't have enough crews when a lot of things turn over at once. So it's sometimes it's a matter of just you don't have the manpower to get it done
I have
as quickly as you'd like to.
I have a 6-month waiting list on rehabs.
Right. So you're in no position to buy a house to rehab unless you're going to screw somebody out of their spot to do your deal.
Yeah, so that's why I take deposit. I take a deposit hold.
Mhm.
And if they want to leave after they've given me a deposit, they can leave.
Yeah.
If not, we've already got everything scheduled. I got everything lined out. The only difference that I do now, though, this is for anyone who is flipping or building or wanting to build, is all of the contracts that I make with my clients are estimates. They're not. It's not a budget.
Yeah, you don't know what the hell lumber.
I don't know what lumber's going to be in 6 months
or steel
Yes.
or whatever.
So the way that it works is it's all allowances.
I got a question. I'm going to let you ask all the questions. I'm going to ask one today.
Oh, goodness
It's a
gracious.
two-part
Is
question.
it directed at anybody?
Both of you.
Oh, wow.
You can go first if you like.
I think that this is the first
It's-
time you've ever asked
it
me a
is-
question on this
it's really-
podcast.
It's really a three-part question.
Oh,
There's a sequence here.
This
Okay.
is a long
All right.
question.
No, not really. How many investors ballpark in the Houston area do you think you know? How many of them do you think you know real well? And how many of them are making money right now? Good question. And
I don't know. I mean, I've seen 1,000+ people show up at your event.
But you don't
I
know them
think-
all.
yeah, you don't know. But
No, but on my Facebook,
you see
feed-
them, you know who they are. You know, I know he's in the business. You know, yeah, I know that guy.
on my Facebook feed,
Yeah.
I see about 150 people regularly.
That you know them personally.
Mhm.
I know them through Facebook only.
Okay.
Okay. Out of those 150, I would think maybe I know 15 people are really making money. But I don't know the rest because the rest of them are not really personal friends.
All right. Well, I got the answer to my own question, Rita, but I'm gonna go let you go first.
So if you
go
said,
second.
how many investors do I
You know,
know?
you know.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds,
Mhm.
right? That we've bumped into each other over the years and deals, networking events, things like
Mhm.
this. Hundreds. Ones I know really well, 50.
Mhm.
And I think there's a lot of folks in Houston making good money doing real estate.
Mhm.
But I would say if you're having a conversation with another real estate investor, there's a 95% chance that they're making less money than they're acting like they're making.
Mhm. Mhm.
Everybody's a big talker.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there are a few people that are making
Right.
just bukus of money.
Here's my answer. You want to hear it?
I don't think we have any choice.
I know hundreds and hundreds as you do. How many I know pretty good? Oh, I put myself in three digits there, over 100.
Probably.
You know, because I loan money and I do deals. You know, like over 100, easy. I know well.
Yeah.
And then, and I don't know what made me think of this, but I was just talking about in the last couple of days. How many people out there making money? And I believe in the bell curve of people. Whether you're working for Ace Hardware or selling Chevrolets and Fords, or you're in the real estate business, 20%,
80-20 rule.
well, 20% are superstars are really good at what they do. 20% of dogs, and they always fail. And the 60% in the middle are Joe Average. And I think
They're getting by.
they're getting by.
Mhm.
So I think the big group is paying their bills and living,
Mhm.
and 20% are making a killing because they know what they're doing, and
And they're willing to do the
they're
things they
willing to
don't
do
want
what
to
you
do
gotta
every
do.
day. That's hard.
And then
Yeah.
you got this old group to the far right, if you want to call it that, in the curve, you know, struggling. But that's the way I feel about it.
Interesting.
Most of the people I know, well, most of them I'd say probably doing okay.
Yeah.
They're making some money right now.
Yeah, well, I think the people that we gravitate to are the
Mhm.
successful people,
Mhm.
you know, because you want to learn from each
Yeah.
other.
That makes sense, what I was saying? You don't agree with it, do you? That's fine.
No, it's not that I disagree with it.
Mhm.
It's just I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it changes the game for me.
Yeah.
My competition is what I did last year, last month,
Mhm.
last
Mhm.
week, right?
Great way to be.
I think you like right now, the big question for me from Kendra on Saturday night was, what are you doing with retirement? And I think I sat there and I thought about that question, and I was like, well, here's what I'm doing. I've got this much in the bank,
Mhm.
and I'm getting ready to sell my property, and that's going to leave me with this much.
Mhm.
And when the inventory gets when the dip comes, which I think eventually a dip will come, I'm going to be a buyer. And until then, I'm just going to continue, stuffing stuff into the armor box. That's it.
All right.
What do you think?
I think I'm going to ask my next question.
All right, go for it.
And this is maybe a better question.
Wait, better than your first question?
Maybe.
All right.
Hypothetical. You don't know the answer to this one. I just want to know your guess. I have my guess. On this run that we're in now.
Yeah.
It's April of 2021. When does it take a substantial, not just a bump and changes a little bit, when does it change significantly from where we are today? And then why?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, well, let's start.
Hit it, Rich.
If it's easy, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, the way I would judge it is
Go with when first. Go with the timeline first.
when's
it going to change?
when the foreclosures
When is
are
that?
lifted.
When is that?
When we reach.
Okay, so you answered the why.
No.
I said when and then why.
Okay.
You said-
I'm going to say 8 months from now.
8 months from now. So
And I'm going to say why is because
Yeah.
enough people have been vaccinated, and the COVID numbers are not increasing.
Okay.
I believe by the end of the summer, it'll be.
So I feel like the horizon is longer than that.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I think that is, so you still have this giant migration to Texas, and Houston in particular is growing faster than anywhere. Well, I'd say maybe Austin, maybe faster than Houston, but Houston's growing very fast. Even if we did add inventory, we have a higher demand for inventory every single month. You have a great point that when foreclosures happen, more inventory will come in. When you said substantial change, do you mean we don't have to have 5 people bidding over list, or I could still sell a house at a nice clip and do a good, as long as I do a good rehab, I could sell the house for a good amount.
Yeah, you get out of this huge,
This-
frenzy of where it's strictly a seller's market. And,
Well, I want to add on to mine. I don't think it's that the houses go into foreclosure. That's not what I'm worried about. What I'm saying is once the houses are lifted, once the moratorium is lifted, then people will be like, no one does anything until like the last minute, right? Well, I've got my traffic ticket is in 2 days. I need to go and hire an attorney tomorrow, right? Well, at that moment, then it's like, oh, these 35 wholesale cards, I better start going through these next 30 days because the bill's going to be on the market. And then I think there's going to be short sales. I think there's going to be wholesale deals. I think there's going to be stuff hitting the inventory.
Right, but his question was when are we going to see a substantial change in our market? Which in the way I took that question was, when is selling houses going to be substantially more difficult?
That's right. Inventory goes up, and that's right.
That's the way I was looking at that question.
Well, here's the answer. Here's the answer.
Okay.
It's going to be sometime late next year. And it's going to happen because interest rates are going to rise due to inflation, and the feds can no longer artificially push them down. Keep the rates down low. They'll run out of time to do it. The pressure, inflation, the deficit.
You're sitting pretty because housing ain't going down. The lumber cost is at a new high.
It's going to be years for lumber to catch up.
We're at $4.22. $4.22 an ounce or something, a pound for copper. So all of my trades
all
are
building
gone
supplies
up.
are up.
The only thing that hasn't gone up is plumbing. I've stayed the same.
The lumber, the labor, you mean?
No, I'm saying the material and labor has stayed the exact same.
Except for that little freeze window where all the plumbers got rich.
And the scavengers that went to Home Depot.
Yeah, some people online agree with me. Can you believe that?
No, actually, no, I can't. Your first question, Curtis, you said foreclosures and evictions. Let's back up and go back to that question. Talk about evictions. were 6 for 6 last week.
What was the difference? You just asked for possession, or
Nope.
were
So-
you awarded possession and?
So what happened was the Texas Supreme Court weighed in on the CDC moratorium. Are you familiar with the
Yeah, and
CDC
they said
moratorium?
that was
Mhm.
unconstitutional.
They said, well, what they specifically said was that that CDC letter that the tenant signs and the attestation is the word they attest to is between the landlord and the tenant, not for the court to have any jurisdiction over. So they directed all the justice courts to ignore it. But what they did was they put it on the shoulders of the landlord to say, if you evict somebody and they've give you a CDC letter and it's valid, you have a problem. It could be criminal and civil charges. Okay. But if you can look at that letter and say, I'm confident that this person didn't do everything they could to pay partial rent. They didn't do everything they could to get assistance. Then you can make the business decision to go forward with the eviction. We went forward with 6 last week, and I think 3 or 4 different courts, and won all 6.
What liability are you worried about?
I'm not real worried about the liability. Eddie and I had a conversation, and Johnny, where'd Johnny go? We had a conversation about it today. I was sued by a tenant, and we had court today, and I bet you I'll end up paying $5,000 for my attorney, and they would have probably settled for $1,000. I'm just tired of it. If I'm not in the wrong and I'm right, I'll fight and I'll win. So I'll just pay the money if I have to, but I don't care. I'm doing the right thing. If they're playing the system and playing the game and not being honest, then I'm standing up for my customer and I'm evicting them. So if they want to sue me, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, if I see a tenant that calls once a week and they're paying $20 every 3 days and they're trying as hard as they can to pay a little bit here and there, and they're showing me their doctor bills, they're showing me these problems, and we're not going to take them to court because that CDC letter is valid, right? We do the right thing, and if it puts us at risk, so be it.
How do you estimate repairs?
We're switching subjects.
We are.
Yeah,
There was a question.
It's a question. Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Do you just eyeball it?
It's an hour and a half
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Let's start diving in. That's a really
Let's-
good question.
Let's don't talk about how I do it. Let's talk about how a new. I think the question means how's a new person estimate?
Right. They wouldn't ask that question if
Yeah,
they've been doing
okay.
it for 20 years.
It's a little bit tough starting off, but the best way to do it is if you're pursuing a house and you got a chance to contract, but you're not sure about the repairs, contract the house at the best price you can and put an option clause in there for inspection.
Subject to inspection.
You know,
Yep.
I think it's section 22. It was section 23, but when they revised the track form, it changed the paragraph numbers, but it's at the end. It used to be at the end. That's not. But anyway, get yourself a 7-day, 14-day, 20-day option period. Then invite contractors, hard money lender, people that's been in the business.
I'll interrupt you.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I've
Yeah.
talked about Jet for
Mhm.
10 years is they'll come out and analyze your house for free.
Yeah.
And if the deal's bad, they'll say, this is
Yeah.
not a good deal. You need to get out of this deal. And they'll
Yeah.
be completely honest
Yeah.
because they don't want a bad deal any more than you do.
Use the vendor network.
Mhm.
It could be hard money lender. Thank you. It could be contractors, and let them bid the repairs for you or give you a repair estimate, and you study it and you ask questions. Okay. Getting on all types of podcasts like these, and people to talk to you about what it costs to do something like carpet is going to cost you $1.60 to $2 a square foot to get new carpet.
Labor and material.
You just start to learn what all these things cost.
Curtis will tell you about his floor guy. He does a
You
great
got Curtis here
product.
that's builds and remodels houses. I don't know how much time you want to spend, with someone unless they're going to give you some business because you have to justify your time. But there's you get other people involved during your option period, and you keep going to programs like this and going to networking events, and you talk to the flooring guy, you talk to the roofer, you talk to the appliance guy, you talk to the painter, you talk to all the people at the networking events, and you can word your question a lot of different ways. Ballpark, I got a 2,000 square foot house. What's it going to cost to paint that?
It's an impossible question without seeing the house.
Yeah. Or, just give
So
go ahead.
let me answer this question really quickly. She said estimate. Okay. Just a ballpark estimate.
Mm-hmm.
So ballpark estimates, if the house has roof damage, old AC, old appliances, old water heater, it's $35 a square foot.
Just for those 4 things.
Just ballparking the entire house remodel.
Okay.
2,000 square feet, $70,000.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick, simple and easy, right? It could be 10,000 more. It could be 10,000 less. It's an estimate, right? If I'm just wanting to run on the fly, I tell people if I'm going down to the studs, like all the way down to the studs, new, the house was flooded, whatever, I'm going down to the studs, and then I'm making repairs from there. I budget between 65 and 75.
Isn't that crazy anymore?
And the only reason is because usually when you go down the studs, you find something else that you did not
Got to
know.
put that in. That was one thing I wanted to cover is you got to put the gotcha in there. As soon as you start tearing stuff out, you're going to find something. And it's not going to be simple. There's going to be something that gets you, and you're going to have to spend an extra 1,000 or 2 or 5 that you didn't want to spend. But once you uncover it, you got to do the right thing and fix it.
Air conditioned square footage on a demo. If you're going to add square footage to a house, I tell people to budget. If you're managing the entire process, I would budget 115, 120.
It's reasonable.
If you are,
For adding square footage.
Adding square footage. So I'm going to take off a part of the house because I still got to do a partial demo. Got to take off an existing wall. Got to tie in.
Add a new master bedroom.
suite. Yes. That's gonna. I'm just saying, budget somewhere in between. If you're gonna run the project now, if you're gonna hire someone like me to run the project, I'm gonna charge you 135.
You got to make a couple bucks.
Yep, that comes with permits.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
And that's a good segue into. It also depends if you're newer. Might be smart to pay a little more and have a general contractor. Once you get some time under your belt and all the different facets, you can GC yourself.
You're going to pay for
money.
a contractor if you're new, whether you use one or not. You're just either going to pay by bad experience and overpaying somebody, or you're going to pay someone who has a license plate warranty. You know what a license plate warranty is, right?
As soon as you can't see the license plate warranty.
As soon as you can't see that license plate, there's no more warranty.
Yep.
So, I mean, this goes to the next question that Camilla, right? Camellia?
Well, go back to the previous
Carmelita.
question. Go back to the you went to there. Let's go with that one. Are y'all all buying and holding or flipping in the 150 to 190?
She asked a question before that.
Well, I'm going to that one now.
That's where she was coming from.
Are y'all all buying or hold flipping at the 150 to 190? That's
And it does link to that other question, though. That's a good point.
Yes.
That since builders can't build for under 200 hardly, what are you doing with these 150 to 190 houses?
Yes, that's
to me, whether I flip or hold has nothing to do with the price point for the most part. It is, do I want to hold it or do I want to flip it and get my money? As
this is your genius. Tell everybody that's watching this how you make the determination. I'm going to buy it and flip it, or I'm going to buy it and hold it, or I'm going to buy it and I'm going to short-term rent it. What is how do you make that decision?
There's a lot of things goes into that, but you flip for cash, you hold for long-term wealth. You can't hold them all.
Right. But how do you make your,
well, one of the areas, things I think is what you drive it, because I do this. I like to hold where there's great high schools. You cannot go wrong buying and holding a house where there's a top-rated high school, because it will stay rented and it will appreciate. The reason you get in the rental business is appreciation above everything else.
Period.
There's other reason, but
Yep.
that is the number one reason. I am a walking, talking billboard advertisement for the word called appreciation.
Yep. Me too.
Yeah. And it's just nothing else about it. But it's about the 150 to 190 to me that don't play into it to me. It is, do I want to hold it? Okay. Do I think it will appreciate? And do I have the want to add to my rental portfolio? Because you can't hold
At
them
a certain
all.
time.
You can only hold what you want to hold and want to deal with. But I mean, I flipped a whole lot more houses than I hold, and we sold a bunch of them. But we still got over 100. I don't know, 120 doors probably. Give or take a few. And but I'll say this. I mean, the other way around. I mean, there is no better cash flowing property than a 4-bedroom brick in a rough area in Houston. That is, you may not get the appreciation. I say you may not, because we're getting it right now, regardless of where we're at.
Yeah.
It's crazy out there. But I've said forever, a city of Houston house means you don't have a mud tax, and it's 4-bedroom brick. It's high demand, and it'd be a high housing. I'll put Section 8 tenant in it, 4-bedroom brick.
What's
Stay for 20 years.
what does that get? 4-bedroom brick, Section 8 tenant,
14, 1500.
It gets whatever that voucher says that the people walk up on the yard is what it gets.
Well, I guess I'm asking, what's the most
I'm
that you
just
could get?
telling you.
Just a guesstimate.
Somebody walks up with an $1,100 voucher or a $2,100 voucher. The rent in that case, $2,100.
And I'm saying, what should someone be shooting for in a 4-bed, 2-bath brick in a area that's got good schools? Let's say Cypress.
Well, that's a discussion.
Yeah.
You can't even.
Yeah.
That's like saying, how much does a beer cost?
I mean,
which beer are you buying, right?
I know
I know what you're trying to get
That's
at.
a 1% rule out there, and we all know about that. So what's that ARV on that house?
200.
And then hopefully
It's
you'll
2,000.
get 2,000 a month. In a high demand area, you might get 2,200 for that house, 2,300. If it's maybe not quite as good a street, you may not get but 1,800 for that house.
As soon as you hit 300,000 or 400,000,
Yeah.
that doesn't apply anymore.
1% will come down.
I'm closing in 2 weeks on my next Fifth Ward, my next bloody nickel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a 3-1 with a 1-1 garage for 102.
Mm-hmm.
102. It
Good.
probably only needs like 70 grand. You know what those things are going for right now, right?
No idea.
265, 285.
Good on you.
Well,
Would you keep it
What did it rent
or
for?
would you flip? Oh, 1,500, 1,400.
And then how much for the 1-1?
I would go in and I would add in the second bedroom though. I mean the second bathroom.
How much would the 1-1 rent for?
I don't know. That's what
No
I was.
less than 700 or 800
Really? You think
Yeah.
so?
for a 1-1.
No less than 700 or 800.
You can't find anything.
That's
I rent rooms in a building for $800.
okay. But see, that is a very good point to make out there because I think a lot of people don't look for additional cash flow in their
Garage
rental
apartment
properties.
type
Yeah,
stuff.
garage apartment. 700 to 800 is the minimum expectation.
If you can't get 700 or 800, you get 700 or 800.
Yeah, so that's
We rent garage apartments out all the time for $700 or $800.
okay. So you got a garage apartment? Call Rich.
Stuff's renting right now. If I were you, what are your thoughts of that neighborhood in 5 years?
Oh, come on, Rich. I mean,
Then why would you sell it unless you're broke?
Yeah,
Right?
right.
well, here's the reason all of us don't hold.
You can't hold it all. You're right.
You work yourself to death on this stuff, holding all of them. I mean, I don't.
I'm calling Rich to handle all of that.
I was in a
Rich strikes me as a
big
guy
meeting, not long ago, a bunch of people, and they got to arguing with me, about all the advantages of rent property that was either in addition to appreciation or as good as appreciation. I just sat there. There was nobody in this argument that owned a bunch of houses. There's a bunch of people in the argument that was in the business. And I said, guys, y'all know the amount of work it goes into, you do it, managing and owning 200 houses. I mean, you got to have a great property manager like Renter's Warehouse, but you also are involved, into a lot of things, I mean,
Well,
'cause
and that's a good distinction.
Got to do something.
We're not asset managers.
Yeah,
we're property
yeah,
managers.
That's right. You got to manage the bank. You got to manage the insurance. You got to,
Taxes.
all of that stuff that goes on, the income tax, the depreciation, on the income. You got to do all this stuff. It don't do itself. It gets a little bit back office heavy, from time to time, and that you got to manage. So, if it was real easy, everybody be doing it. But it ain't real easy. And the last thing you want to do is tackle this stuff without a property manager. And I'm not sitting here putting my
but that's where I was going with this.
But they're really good. But that's the first step. But even beyond your property manager, there's still your back office and all the things you got to do.
Well, the last thing you want to do is break the law because you don't know what the law is.
Yeah, you're doing all this stuff, But there's just, it's a pain in the butt.
It's just what the song says. I fought the law, and the law won.
Yeah. But,
well, you're talking about taxes and documentation and all that. Well, one of the things we do and here I am. Here's my pitch, right? Well, we give you a 1099 at the end of the year. Here's all the dollars we gave you. And then, oh, by the way, here's a cash flow statement right next to it.
Yeah.
You hand those two documents to your CPA and you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after a year of doing that or 6 months of doing that, you take the money over to a non-QM lender, and then you get that refied and you can cash out or do whatever you want.
Yeah. But once you work your way through this, and I painted it doom and gloom for a second, I'm a walking, talking billboard for appreciation.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it's safe to say the last 24 months, some publications have it just under 10%, but most publications have it well over 10%.
Throw those throw those Houston MLS stats up.
We're way over 10% appreciation in the last 24 months per year.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about 10% for 24 months. I'm talking about 10% per year for 24 months.
This is great. You got a little fan going on over there.
He's all situated.
Ehab, go Eddie, go.
Go Eddie, go.
Go Eddie. Preach.
I didn't see who said it.
I don't know. Some Ehab Shirky.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. This came from Har, and this is year over year, March to March. Now the weird thing you'll see is look at the total property sales going way through the roof. Look at the dollar volume, up 55%. Active listings. Now,
yeah, but March was when COVID hit.
20 to 21 though. Right. So March last year was pretty normal.
Yeah. It wasn't until April. And
March is when they shut down the rodeo.
I know that, but
Right,
your heart stats were still pretty strong in March.
Yeah.
Only because everything in February was getting ready to close in March.
Okay.
All right, let's
So
look at
April will be the real indicator.
Yeah, we'll look at that next month.
You can
Oh
slice
wait,
and dice
keep
it every
on
way you
that roll.
want.
I want to.
But I'm gonna go back to something you said. You don't mislead people. You had 12 months last year, right? Was 2020 12 months long? I think it was. You only had 2 months that the sales were down. The other
That's
10,
right. They released and
the
allowed
other
realtors
10,
to show.
they exploded and makes, when you look at it cumulative for the year exploded. So don't throw this on me about April and May going to kill your numbers. I already know the numbers.
Who said April and May is going to kill your
I think
numbers?
that's what you said.
That's not what I said.
Okay.
That's not what I was saying at all.
Let's look at this. Average sales price up
That's what I was getting ready to go
19.9%.
to.
Median sales price up 16%.
Yeah.
That's 1 year.
That's 1 year.
That's inflation.
Part of it is.
Yeah.
And that's
Supply
okay.
demand.
But we own the houses the whole time. That's good for us. If you have your money sitting in cash, your money just got devalued.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it in real estate. Leave it there.
That's what I'm a
So
walking billboard for.
People that buy a house and flip it, They
You
It's
taking medicine
okay.
or something? It's like the sixth
No, I
time
was
you've been on
saying-
your phone this week.
I'm seeing if it's 6. See how close we were to 7.
All right.
That's we're 6:40. I don't have a watch on that
You
works.
can't see that far. You can't see that. 640.
No, I can't.
There it
see
is.
Glasses on for that.
Far right hand corner.
But this is interesting stuff, guys. I mean,
pending
this
sales.
is insanity.
There's 11,000 pending sales for March.
Well, let me talk about
2021.
that for a second. I'm sure Dallas is the same shape. Corpus may be, San Antonio may be, but I know for a fact Houston and Austin is true what I'm about to tell you. And this is historical. There are more pending sales in Houston than there are active listings. In Austin, there are more pending sales than there are active listings. That's historical. It's never happened before.
You know what number I'm going to throw out, don't you?
Go for it.
There are more realtors in America than there are houses for sale.
Shoot, there's more realtors
Did you know that?
in HAR than
That just
there
happened-
are listings
That just
available.
happened this month. There's more realtors in America than there are houses available to buy.
I didn't know that.
That's
That's
crazy.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And you know what still
Can I steal that one tomorrow when I talk?
Oh, yeah.
Where are you
Just
talking at
Just
tomorrow?
footnote
I
me.
don't know.
Footnote me, Goose.
I'll be talking somewhere.
you know what I
What you
think
got?
is
Take
no,
it, take
you,
it.
you can take it
Take it
off.
out.
So that,
Yeah.
I mean, Eddie can only go so long without people seeing him.
Yeah.
There you go. Now he feels good again.
Yeah, dude.
You want to straighten up?
Yeah,
the,
just grab me on that shoulder. Don't
straighten
grab
up the
this one.
collar a little bit. Maybe pull
Just
the
don't
blue
grab
out.
me on this one.
Get the blue out. the
Surgical-
Oh, I grabbed
repaired.
you on that one last week. He
Surgically
didn't like that.
repaired.
It's okay, sugar.
Well, he's a Terminator. He's
Yeah, he is.
yeah, he's like
Yeah.
$6 million man.
Hey, Johnny, you want to come in?
No, I'm good.
You sure? Johnny Hayes, everybody. Just out of
Hey,
sight.
He's the brains behind Jet.
You ain't lying. Him and
Look there, not there.
So the one thing that I noticed on the text thread is that Kevin Messer jumped into my little non-QM part that I threw out there. Good job, Kevin.
what else? What else? What else is big?
6 for 6 on evictions.
Yeah.
baby.
Well, let's throw something out there. We can't leave the crowd hanging here. Live meeting. Live meetings.
When?
We're doing our best, aren't we, Rich? Maybe
We're going
May?
to do our darndest for May.
for May. Live meeting.
I'd love to have a live meeting.
We're gonna pay for the beer again,
What?
like we did for 13 straight years. We're gonna pay for the beer.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna pay for the food.
Oh, you are.
Okay. All right. All right. Fun.
You can get a whole lot of food when you don't have to pay for a venue.
We'll see. Yeah.
See.
So
Oh,
hopefully
wow.
we'll have
What was that? Oh my gosh. Someone was sitting here trying
in
to
2019.
don't have to pay for a venue?
Yeah.
Wow.
Through January and February of 2020, and then COVID got us.
Mhm. Yeah,
we
that
were
COVID was
cranking
rough.
out minimum 800 a meeting, and some meetings we did 1,000.
I've seen
It was good times.
I've
Mhm.
seen a couple of people that are already out there gotten a couple of butts in seats.
Rookies.
Yeah.
Rookies.
Yeah.
They rookies.
100, 150 people. They probably need private
Well,
security
rookies.
for that.
Rookies.
Private
Rookies.
security.
Rookies. Rookies. We'll bring Major League back to town here.
Tell the folks they want to get all their rent up front. Holler at us. We got a new tagline. You ready?
Yeah.
Do it the renter's warehouse way. Get a year's worth of rent today.
Tell me about that.
Oh.
Tell us about it. 'Cause we
Remember
covered that
Don
movie.
was here.
I know
Don
that.
Higgins.
Right,
Right,
but
but just
not everybody remembers it. I don't remember all
not
the details
everybody saw
myself.
the
So
last
here's what we
podcast.
did. Here's what we did. We partnered with a Wall Street group who are getting all their money from all these rich folks in
Mhm.
Palo Alto and Wall Street and all
So if
this.
they want to go back, they could go back and rewatch the podcast from
Yeah. So they're
last month.
last month we talked in depth about it.
Yes.
And John Higgins, who is one of the principals there, was on the call. And I actually told him if we had a lot of questions, I'd pull him in here. But basically what it is you put a tenant in, we put a tenant in your house if they qualify, and we say, hey, you want your rent up front? Well, what do you mean? Well, we'll give you the whole next year's rent right now with a 10%. I'll just tell you right now, it's a 10% discount. They got to make money, right? They're taking risk. You get 90% of your rent for the next 12 months today,
Yeah, that's pretty
and
cool.
you don't take any risk on collection.
That's pretty cool.
So what do? You go buy your next house. No one's looking over your shoulder asking you what you're going to spend that money on. There's no loan against your house. None of that. You get all the rent handed to you, and you go about your business. Go buy a jet ski if you want. I don't recommend it. If you get a jet ski, you'll ride it for like a month and then park it. Go buy another rental or two. You got $2,000 rental. That's $24,000 a year times 0.9, 24. What is that? 21.6. Here you go.
Pretty cool.
Guess what, Rich?
You want to do that on yours?
Yeah, I will do that on mine.
I just did 3 of mine.
But guess what? We're getting ready to be joined by the queen of coin-operated car washes.
Is that Natalie?
Is Natalie here?
Natalie Pilkington.
Yeah.
Bring her in.
She put me
Hey.
in big time. You remember this?
What?
When they're talking to her, I was like, do you regret buying those car washes? After Dell Walmsley had told her over and over how horrible it was, she goes, I don't know. One of my car washes is worth about $1 million. I was like, okay. You would take my place up on stage.
She's muted.
Natalie, check your sound.
My grandparents.
Natalie, this makes for great live video.
Awesome,
Natalie.
right? Can you?
No,
Nope,
you're
still
muted.
can't hear you.
You're muted.
I'm showing
My
I'm
grandparents
on.
owned coin-op car washes for years.
She'll come back.
Okay,
Yeah.
she'll come back.
She didn't want to talk to us.
Yeah.
I don't think she likes us.
I think there she is. There
Still
she is.
muted.
She's.
Unmute.
I'm not.
I think you're still muted.
Yeah,
No, I heard her.
I'm not
Oh.
muted.
No, she's not muted by me. It's her mic.
Your
mic.
mic is shut down.
My mic is
She's
shut
She's
down.
not good at this stuff.
I'm not. I'm a rookie.
She's got a nice spot on the patio, and now she's upside down. Oh,
Let me see. This isn't good, guys.
how about them Astros?
Can't hear you, Natalie. Can't hear you.
We can. Yeah. Sorry.
I tested it before
Well,
I got
wait.
on.
Summer says that she can hear her.
Oh.
We don't have
Come
audio
on.
here. We don't have audio.
Okay.
Turn us up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Sit tight, Natalie.
I'm sitting.
Banned from studio. We don't want to ban
Oh
her.
no! Who said that?
The audience can hear you, so you can say whatever you want to them right
Okay.
now.
Well, let me just say, do not do car washes unless you're doing tunnel washes. Don't do coin-operated car washes. But that's not why I'm here. I wanted to come and talk about Rockstar Capital. I'm working with Jet Lending and Alex, and we're going to do an event coming up.
She's not crazy. No,
Um,
she is crazy.
I am crazy, but I'm crazy about Rockstar Capital. We're going to be working with Jet Lending, and hopefully Rich will be there with Renter's Warehouse. We're going to do a networking event coming up, and it's in May 20th. There's some details that are still working out, so check your email. Rockstar Capital,
Summer
if you
says
guys
she can
don't
hear.
know, it is, I love that they're still talking. Rockstar Capital is an apartment syndicator, owner, operator, Robert Martinez. He's the apartment rockstar. That's where I work. I'm also an investor, and I do a variety of things, but Rockstar Capital is starting to see a lot of deal flow. So things are hopping, things are popping. We just sold one of our properties and returned over right under 900% over a 10-year period to our
Matthew
investors
says they can hear.
at Rockstar Capital.
Let her
Yeah,
talk.
they can hear me, but y'all can't. So I can talk all about Eddie and tell you about the time in Vegas, but I won't. I'll be good since he.
Matthew Lucas says it's y'all's mic.
But anyway, Rockstar
Put us
Capital,
something.
you guys want some
They can hear and we
information,
can't.
go
We've
to
always been over here.
rockstar-capital.com.
Every time you
If
talk,
want to
you're
go
talking.
passive in apartments or
care.
want to learn about apartments
Oh.
or investing in apartments, you guys can go there. So I appreciate it. I'll hand it back to those fellas. Since they can't hear me, I'm disappointed, but because I had some input on evictions and other things as well. So this is fun.
Yeah.
I can talk about Curtis. I can talk about
Thank you,
Rick.
Natalie.
I
Thank
can say
you.
everything.
Thank you, Natalie. Okay. All right. We'll figure that out for next time, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it was
Yeah,
operator
yeah,
error
yeah,
in some
yeah,
fashion.
Somewhere. We've had people on before. We could hear them.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right.
What you get for letting Alex run the
All
show.
right.
Yep.
All right. Summer's approaching. Y'all got big plans?
Do a little travel and go in the hill country this weekend.
All right.
Relax a little bit and have
All right.
have a little crawfish boil before the crawfish run out.
Mm-hmm.
Think about heading down to Mexico for a little jaunt.
When?
Maybe next month or two.
Nice.
I like that Riviera Maya down there.
I'm going in August.
Where are you going?
I am going to Isla
I'm
to
gonna work.
stay at
I'm gonna
the.
work, stay around here and buy some houses.
I'm gonna stay at the Lotus Hotel and Resort.
Lotus.
Lotus.
Y'all go
You
do
like-
all this stuff. I'm gonna stay around here and buy some houses.
Well, I mean, listen, you can go through life and collect all your cash flow that you want and bury it with you, or you can go and have all kinds of experiences outside of Mississippi.
Well, Eddie hurt his shoulder holding all his money in.
Yeah, he
See?
did.
He
pulled it.
He pulled it. He had to have surgery.
He was
on it.
trying to lift that bag of cash over
Yeah,
his
yeah.
shoulder.
Poor Eddie.
Yeah,
Bless his heart.
the problem was someone was like, Eddie, don't forget your chicken nuggets. So he had chicken nuggets in one hand. He was
And
trying
poor-
to
and
bag
poor
of
Eddie.
cash in the other.
You know, and Eddie, he don't like to have no fun.
Mm.
He just rather just sit around and watch TV.
Okay, honestly, give me your feedback since we're at the end of this podcast. I do a podcast for
Yeah.
everybody that doesn't know. Eddie was on the podcast. It's called Nailed It.
Mhm.
He did. It was a pretty good. I thought you did great.
It's all right.
Whatever.
All right.
You did great because I don't think a lot of people get to see you with your hair off fire. You were very chill and relaxed.
Chill and relax now.
What did you think about it looking back?
It was all right. I mean, I enjoyed seeing the other people more than me, to be honest with you.
Oh,
The
yeah.
other people that I've watched, so I enjoyed theirs more.
Okay.
Who, Funkalicious?
His was okay.
It was
good.
okay. Which
It
one
was
did
good.
you get the most out of?
Name 3 or 4, and I'll tell you.
Stephen Boutros,
Didn't see his.
personal injury attorney.
Didn't see him.
Okay.
Sorry.
David Burcham, the guy that owns the CBD company.
He's pretty good.
He,
I like
he's the one that built.
Pretty good.
He built his whole cannabis facility out of all of his profits he did from
pretty good.
building townhomes in Denver, Colorado.
Mhm.
He was my roommate in college.
I'll be done.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then today I had over Hatham and Javar. Boydie.
Ooh, I wish I'd seen that one.
Well, that one comes out in 3 weeks.
That is.
You know, I went bird hunting with them one time. That was dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know how to operate a shotgun.
They probably don't, but
they know how to operate an insurance company.
what they do better than that is they know how to operate a hotel, which is 4 blocks down the street from my house, called the Heights House Hotel,
I'll be darned.
which just launched its opening yesterday.
Mhm.
They have in the Heights House Hotel.
You
They
know,
have
where
a
all
place.
you know where all the furniture came from?
Like you,
Huh?
Like you, where?
I say all the furniture. You know where I happened to be in Vegas with Javar.
Okay,
Just happened to be there
okay.
when Javar went to Vegas and bought a whole, I don't know how many 18 wheelers for furniture from the Hard Rock.
Really?
Maybe I'm not supposed to tell this. I don't know.
That is awesome.
Maybe that's a secret. I don't know.
Well-
sorry if that's a secret. Sorry,
My
Javar.
So the
I meant seizures.
I meant
Heights,
IKEA.
the Heights
I
House
meant room
also
store. The room
has a
store.
bar called the Space Cowboy. And the
Yeah.
Space Cowboy has room for about 300 to 400 people, which
That's
is what they had yesterday,
That's just-
which they're offering to the super investor group to come out and hold
Wait a
a
minute. Wait a minute.
party.
They had a grand opening yesterday.
They had a soft opening for people who would pay.
Wait a minute.
Did you get an invite?
I'm still.
They're giving
Maybe-
us
Maybe the two's broke on his
they're
phone.
giving us a private invite for us.
Hold on.
Check it out.
I just signed a $30,000 check a couple days ago for them.
A
some
little insurance.
Huh?
Huh.
Huh? They may not get it in May.
Hey, you talk to Curtis, got you in trouble there.
Mhm.
So
Javar.
the Heights House wants to sponsor the super investor meeting.
Well, let's go check it
They
out.
have enough.
Well, they might
room.
want to start off by inviting me and you to the grand openings if they want to do that. Wouldn't
This
you
wasn't a
think?
grand opening. Grand opening's in 2 weeks.
No, you said a minute ago.
I said it was a
grand-
soft opening.
He's
hard-
tap dancing now. Isn't he?
hard, soft, medium. They might want to think about
was-
inviting me and you to the grand
It was a
opening,
limp opening.
Huh?
It was
Huh? Will you
Very
agree with me?
limp.
All right.
Didn't even give a wiggle.
Guys, let's talk about if we can go live next time. Seriously,
Seriously.
somebody just posted, what's the first topic going to be? Rob posted. Guys, what do y'all out there want to hear about? If we're live, what do y'all want to hear about? Get on there and post it if you can think of something great that you want us to talk about.
There you go.
You got any good ideas?
No, I want to hear what they have to say.
We can talk about it.
Everything that I want
Apparently,
to
we
hear.
need to talk about how to throw an effective grand opening to a new
Yeah,
hotel.
I guess so. Jeez.
Everything that I like talking about, I put on my podcast. I do the podcast so that I had Eddie on because I wanted to hear all about how he was diversifying money in his portfolio into chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken wing, chicken
Winner,
strips.
winner, chicken dinner.
Mhm. All right. I feel like we bored the people tonight. I hope we
Yeah,
didn't.
that was pretty boring.
Hope we didn't bore them too much.
Oh, y'all will get
Call
over
us.
it.
We need to loan some money.
Yeah.
We got,
Call
we
me
got
if you want all your rent up front. We'll
Yeah.
make it happen.
Cosby.
what they want to call you about. Rehabbing a house, building a house for them.
If you got a backyard that needs a swimming pool, give your boy a call.
Yeah.
832-444-6766. Don't
Yeah.
be like Alex Buriak and overpay for
Yeah.
a swimming pool. Call
Hey.
me.
Hey, I'm going to touch on one other thing. We've been up here BS and kind of made silly out of it, but rent houses long term is not a bad thing. And you got to have a good manager to support you in that. But it's not for the lighthearted. It's just when you got a good manager, it really don't matter if you got 50 of them or 5 of them. It's the same deal.
Well, I think it depends on where you're at in your cycle,
Mhm.
whether or
Where you're
not
at in
you
life,
are, whether you're at this
Mm-hmm.
place, like you could be in the middle of not getting rent for 2 weeks and having 6 houses have issues. And then you're like, I hate rental properties. Or you could be in the middle of the deal where you've sent all your stuff over to Rich and Rich is taking care of everything. He's like, hey man,
Well,
out of your 20 houses, you got one that needs.
and you still have a bunch
Yeah,
of problems.
yeah,
It
right.
just happens. It's
Yeah.
part of the deal.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
but having
every
someone
land-
to coordinate that helps.
every landlord out there is a buyer or a seller. They either love them and they want some more, or they don't want what they got.
and you can also do what you and I have done over the years. And I just did it a couple months ago. I had one in, that house on Bell Street. I paid $40,000 for it, rented it out for 15 years and sold it for $200,000 wholesale.
On MLS.
And
No,
I got
I didn't even have to put it on MLS.
Johnny and I got a ton of storage houses we foreclosed in 08, 09, and 10. We had more in them than we could sell them for. We sell them now.
Kill
We
it.
sell 1, 2 every now and then, 3, 4 every now and then. So it's not a bad thing. For the
28,
appreciation and
2835 Settee.
yeah.
That was the house I sold you.
I got one in
The
Deer
only
Park
time I
School
ever
District.
sold you one.
I got one in Deer Park School District coming vacant. I think I paid 64, and I just pulled comps, and it probably sell for 275.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. Hope we hadn't bored y'all tonight. Thank you. We'll let y'all know we got a live event coming.
We're gonna try. We had a lot of
We-
people asking this
we-
month. When we
Yeah,
sent out the invite for this.
All right, see y'all.
Bye now. Bye-bye,
See you
everybody.
guys.